It is time for the NFL player props for week 2. Let's talk some football. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back in to another episode for Just a Bet Outside. I'm your host, Steven, and we're back to talk some more football. And honestly, this is one of my favorite videos of the week. I love NFL player props, and I absolutely love the slate today. I got my 4 favorite NFL player props and 3 anytime touchdown bets, so we'll get to those in just a bit. Just a reminder, our Week 2 NFL game bets, the best bets that we have for Week 2, that video is out now. We also give all the best trends for Week 2, including a plus 472 trends parlay, so go check that out when you get a chance. But I'm excited to announce we have a new partner with Betanysports, and here's some of what you get at Betanysports. First of all, if you sign up right now, use that QR code in the upper right or the link below. You get a promo for 30% cash bonus if you sign up right now. And when you're in there, you get NFL free live stream. Watch every NFL game live on them. You get reduced juice lines. You get online casino if you're someone who likes to play blackjack, roulette, slots. I mean, you can go in there, play some online casino, also play some bets. They have prop builder for bets. They have live betting, all the stuff that you would want, lotto platform. And then also they got the horsies. That's right. You can bet on the horses with tracks all over the country as well. Guys, it's a one-stop shop. It's a great place, established in 2001. And one of the best things I liked about it is how easy the website was to use. So go check it out. Again, link is below, or use that QR code. That is BetAnySports. But back to this video, because I am excited to talk some NFL player props. I absolutely love the slate today. But before we get to that, of course, we got to talk the NFL fun facts. So here we go. The Tampa Bay Bucks have the worst winning percentage in NFL history. They would need to go undefeated partway through the 2030 season, every season until then, just to hit 500. But, Tampa Bay fans, they do have 2 Super Bowl rings. That's right. So, in this video, it's going to be short and simple, guys. We got 4 NFL player props that I absolutely love. I got 3 anytime touchdown bets, and then we're going to finish it with the recap. So, that's all we got for you, but let's get some winners. If you haven't already, hit that like button, leave a comment below. Helps this channel grow as we just hit 28,000 subscribers on the channel. Cannot thank you guys enough. And if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. We talk MLB, NBA, and NFL all year long, and we have a ton of fun doing it. So let's get it rolling, and that means it's time for the NFL player props. Let's get right into it, and I'm going to start out with probably my favorite player prop of the entire weekend. Give me Amari Cooper of the Cleveland Browns over 58.5 receiving yards at minus 113 on FanDuel. This is a 1-unit play for me. I think this is an incredibly good buy low spot here. He went over this line in 10 of 16 starts last year. He went over against his Jacksonville team last year with 77 yards. But last week, here's the deal, guys. He had 2 catches on 9 targets. 9 is a ton of targets. That is extremely unlucky. Most of it's Deshaun Watson. I get that. We'll get to that in a second. But he only had 16 yards last week. Those numbers just scream positive regression or progression, however you guys want to call it. I know some people get mad when I call it that. But he also, if you watch the game, he dropped a 45 to 50 yard touchdown pass. If he catches that, what kind of line are we getting here? So I think this is a great value here. Also, David Njoku will be out for this game, so obviously Amari's going to have to carry the load. I realize Deshaun Watson sucks, but this line is still too low. I mean, he's going to be peppered with targets. I'm expecting 10-plus targets here. It's going to be against a much easier defense as well. And here's the big reason I love it. It's the pressure. Deshaun Watson was sacked 6 times. Not saying it wasn't his fault at all, but he was pressured a lot and sacked a lot by the Dallas Cowboys. That was the most sacks in the NFL last week. And now he's going to face a Jacksonville defense. They had less than a 15% pressure rate last week. Honestly, why did they get so much pressure? Some of it is because they were out 2 of their offensive linemen. It looks like Jack Conklin will play. Willis is still going to be out, but if Conklin plays, that will be huge. But again, they do have some pass rushers on Jacksonville. I'm not saying they cannot get pressure, but it's not going to be as elite as Dallas, in my opinion. And if you look at last week, also, Amari Cooper led the Browns in air yards as well. He is the number 1 wide receiver here. It's not even close. The Jaguars defense, how about all the injuries? Holy smokes. The guy they brought over, Tyson Campbell, Darnell Savage, Gibson, all those guys in the secondary look like they may be out this game. Check the injury report as well, but it's not looking pretty. Those are some big pieces in that secondary. I think Amari Cooper absolutely cooks them, to be honest with you. This is a great ladder spot. I may still sprinkle it again. Any added plays, and I might have another added play or two. Any added plays will be in the pinned comments, but you could get 80-plus yards for around plus 200. 90-plus yards, I think, is around plus 310 or right in there, but either way, I like him to go over this receiving yards total in a great buy low spot. So give me hanging with Mr. Cooper as my first best bet. All right, player prop number 2 takes us to the Buccaneers and Lions game, and we're sticking with the wide receiver. Give me Chris Godwin over 5.5 catches at -106 on FanDuel. This is a 1-unit play. I absolutely love it. He had 8 targets in week 1, and he caught all 8 targets for 8 receptions. And to be honest with you, if it wasn't a blowout against the Commanders, he would have had 10 or 11 catches. If that was the case, what would this line be this week? I think 5.5 is just one too low. I expect the Bucs to be playing from behind. They are a 7.5-point underdog in Detroit. It's going to be a little tougher game, obviously. At the worst, I mean, it's going to be competitive. The Bucs will not blow the Lions out. And last week versus the Lions, you saw Cooper Kupp out of the slot a lot. And slot a lot. That was an interesting statement. But anyways, he burned Detroit. 21 targets, 14 catches, just had one heck of a day. And the Bucs are not a big run team. I expect a lot of throws from Baker, and so do the sports books. They have his pass attempts line at 35.5, his yards at 266.5. They think he's going to be chucking it all over the field, and honestly, so do I. And so, obviously, in this game, Baker's going to need to get rid of the ball a little quicker. Commanders have no pass rush, but the Lions will get to him. Aiden Hutchinson and those boys will be able to put a little bit of pressure. I think that means more passes for Chris Godwin, less down the field with Mike Evans, which obviously is always great for this prop. But if you don't know much about Chris Godwin, in 2022, he was an absolute stud. He had 104 catches. Went over this line in 13 of the 15 games played. He has great hands. He is shifty. He is athletic. He's tough to guard, that's for sure, especially in the slot when he has that much space. So I think he's going to have another great game, and I think this reception line is not going to be 5.5 for long during this season as it goes on. So give me Chris Godwin over 5.5 receptions as my second best bet. This third player prop is a running back. Give me Alvin Kamara of the Saints over 4.5 receptions at -125 on DraftKings. Another 1-unit play for me. Like I said, I love these player props this week. But Kamara, he had 5 receptions last week, barely went over, but it was a complete and utter blowout over the Carolina Panthers, the high school team that they have there in Carolina. In a competitive game, just like we talked about with Godwin, he probably would have had 7 to 8 catches. This line would have been a lot higher. But now it's a different situation. They're around an touchdown underdog to the Dallas Cowboys. Kamara, if you don't know, he is one of the best pass catchers in the NFL. I had him in fantasy. He was the greatest PPR running back ever. 80-plus catches in the first 4 years in the league. He had 75 catches last season with Derek Carr in only 13 games played. It was absolutely insane. Average of just about 6 catches per game. He went over this line of 7 of 13 games last season. He had 4 games last year of 7 or more catches. And he even had 2 games where he had 12 and 13 catches. It was that insane. With that Cowboys pressure, I do expect more dump-offs, quicker passes, which means better for him, obviously, and maybe more screen plays just to kind of keep the defense on their heels and not just attacking Derek Carr, because that's the last thing you want. But Cowboys last week, they gave up 6 receptions to the running back Jerome Ford. Jerome Ford isn't even really a pass-catching running back, especially not compared to Alvin Kamara. So I think it's a pretty decent matchup here. If you don't know much about the Saints, Kamara's pretty much their main option. Chris Olave is there as well. He's been a little inconsistent, probably due to Derek Carr, but Alvin Kamara is their option or is their weapon out of the backfield. In a more competitive game script where it's a close game or they're playing from behind, I think Kamara has a ton of catches. This is too low. This is another ladder option where I think he could get 7 or 8 catches. But give me Alvin Kamara over 4.5 receptions as my third best bet. For player prop number 4, we're going with a quarterback. And how about an interception prop? Give me Bo Nix over a half interception. I got this at -130 on BetMGM. This is a half-unit play for me. The other 3 are 1 unit. I'm going to go half-unit on this one. Interception props, they can get a little weird. But here we go. Bo Nix, he made his debut in Seattle. We only have 1 game to go off of. He went 26 for 42 with 2 interceptions. He had another 1 or 2 plays that could have also been picked, but he now faces a much tougher defense in the Steelers. Steelers had over a 33% pressure rate last weekend versus the Falcons, and Atlanta has a pretty good O-line as well. Broncos do not. They absolutely do not have the same O-line. I expect there to be a lot of throws under pressure for Bo Nix. That can lead to bad throws, being hit when he throws it, which could lead to a pick up in the air, something like that. But Steelers last year, top 11 with 16 interceptions. They had 2 interceptions last week off of Kirk Cousins. This will be the toughest defense Nix has ever played in his whole life. I mean, it's only a second NFL game, but it's a true statement. Nix's pass attempts line, 29.5, so I do expect some passing here. And all I need is 1 pick. That's all I need. If they are playing from behind, that's even better. I don't know if Justin Fields can get them to score enough points, but if they do, then it's going to be a lot of throws all over the field, and that's going to be a better chance for a pick, especially when you have TJ Watt running at you. That guy is unbelievable. So give me Bowtie over a half a pick as my 4th and final player prop of the weekend. Again, I'm more than likely going to add 1 more at least. It'll be pinned comments on X and on Discord, but we're not done yet. Let's talk the anytime touchdowns. All right, we had a profitable week last week, going 2-2 on the touchdown bets. I got 3 of them for you. Let's get that 3-0 sweep. I know you guys like your touchdown bets. As you can see there, this is not a parlay for me. These are a quarter unit each. I'm just playing it safe. You guys put whatever you want. These are still my favorite, but I just like to put low counts or unit counts on these. You need some luck with it, but I might raise these to a half unit as the season goes on. But the first one, Najee Harris anytime touchdown. Then we got Jonathan Taylor and Cooper Kupp to finish it out. So let's talk about Najee. Plus 175 on Bet365. The value is too much to pass up. You can get anywhere from plus 150 to plus 175 on these sports books. He's playing the Denver Broncos. Gotta love it. But the Steelers showed last week that Najee is the main guy. It's not a split backfield with Jaylen Warren. He had 20 carries. He absolutely dominated it. And the Broncos defense is terrible. I mean, they allowed 103 rushing yards to Kenneth Walker last week, and that was with a bad O-line. He also scored a touchdown. Denver last year allowed the 6th most rushing touchdowns to the running back position with 12. So it's been like this for quite a while now there in Denver. I'm taking a high-volume running back versus a bad rush defense. Give me a touchdown at plus 175. Second one, Jonathan Taylor Thomas, anytime touchdown plus 115 on DK, rinse and repeat. He scored for us last week. Let's run it again. He's facing a Broncos offense that I've talked about. They're very similar to a dad bod. They are soft in the middle. They proved it again last week. Saquon, how about 109 yards and 2 tutties? That's right. He absolutely lit them up. Packers allowed the 5th most rushing touchdowns to running backs last season. It has been a struggle for them as well for a while. And dating back to last season, Jonathan Taylor has now scored 1+ touchdown in 8 of his last 11 games. He is an absolute touchdown machine. The Colts could be playing from ahead in this one. Why? Because, well, they're facing Malik Willis, who is an absolutely horrendous quarterback. He just flat out is. He's not a quarterback at all. Even when he saw in college, he played for Liberty. Whenever he played a big school or actually good talent, he struggled mightily. He struggled in the NFL so far. He is not good. So maybe LaFleur's got something up his sleeve, but I expect the Colts to at least be in the game or ahead. I don't think they're going to be abandoning the run or anything like that. So I love the plus money there for one of the best rushing touchdown running backs in the league. Third one, Cooper Kupp, anytime touchdown, plus 100 on FanDuel. Some books, minus 120, minus 125. I love the plus 100 on FanDuel. Did I mention he had 21 targets last week? That's just absolutely silly. In principle alone, you kind of have to take a touchdown prop on somebody who had 21 targets last week. Obviously, there's no Puka Nacua again. Kyron Williams' touchdown is too juiced for me. I like Cooper Kupp here. He scored a touchdown last week already against Detroit, and now he gets to face the Arizona Cardinals. What an absolute honor. They are right down there with the Commanders on defense this year, in my opinion. They gave up over 30 points last week. They have very little pass rush, which is huge. That's just going to give Stafford more time to find Cooper Kupp all over the field. I love Cooper Kupp at plus 100, so give me the future Hall of Famer and the Red Solo Cup as my third and final touchdown bet of the day. Those are my 4 favorite player props, my 3 anytime touchdown bets. Again, added plays will be in the pinned comments below. But before we get out of here, let's check out the recap. All right, there it is. We start with Amari Cooper over 58.5 receiving yards for 1 unit. Chris Godwin over 5.5 receptions for 1 unit. And then Alvin Kamara over 4.5 receptions for 1 unit. And then we got Bo Nix over a half of an interception for a half unit. And then we got those anytime touchdown bets. Najee Harris, Jonathan Taylor, and Cooper Kupp, all separate bets for me at a quarter unit each. Let's go get some winners. Let's have a great week 2. I'm feeling really good about this slate for the player props and the best bets. If you haven't already, that best bets video is out now for week 2. And just a reminder, I will be on the Kyle Kerm show on Sunday before kickoff as well. So come check me out as we break down every single game. But thanks for the support again all week long. I appreciate it. Hope you have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you soon.